Hello, welcome to Three Crows Runes. Happy New Year! Oh, my name is Jen. Let's do some rune readings. It is New Year's Day when I am filming this right now. So let's get started. Sorry, just rearranging my my casting thing. Actually, you know what, this can be a little bit further down. Okay, so today what we're going to do is I'm going to read a reading for the coming year for 2022, which is very exciting. I'm going to be using the Black Walnut runes because traditionally it was a fruit or nut bearing tree that the runes would come from that were cut to read for the community, and this is a global community, so let's do this. So let's see what lies in store for 2022. Let's see what we got for that. That one wants to come out. That one fell out. Those two fell out. Wow. Let's lay those out. Okay, and I'm going to put one more. Gosh, I hope I don't. These are like really long runes, and I don't know if I'm not going to have room for like uber nethers, if like uber upper runes and lower runes. Okay. Oh, and we want one more. So we'd like to start with a splash reading with 5 runes to start with. Okay, I'm actually going to move these up as well so it's a little bit slightly more centered. Slightly. Meh. Move this up a tiny bit. Okay, so right now where we are at, we have Tivaz reversed. Tivaz is Tyr's rune, Tyr's the warrior god. So right now we're in a situation where I'm going to read this a few ways. One, we're feeling a bit disarmed. We're feeling like, you know, we're just ready to lay down our sword with all this. We're just like, we've been fighting fighting for a long time, and we just want to stop fighting, and we're just we're tired. We want to be laying down our sword. And at the same time, we are hoping for peace. Hoping for the ability to lay down our swords as well for that reason, not just because we're exhausted, but because it's like it's time. Leading up to this, we've been very strong. We've maintained our strength, and we've just been strong. We've been bearing a lot. We've been carrying a lot. This is Uruz. It's the wild ox. It's the aurochs. It has to do with strength and health. So, you know, it's like if I can overlay the Omicron thing. It's like we were getting stronger, and then all of a sudden this Omicron comes in and disarms us. So it's sort of what we're feeling right now, that we were sort of improving, and then that. So, but also just it feels like everything's been beating us up lately. And we're just disarmed, and we just want to lay it down and just stop having to fight this. So anyway, that's where we're at. What's going to help us at this moment is we have Thurizaz reversed. Thurizaz is the rune of the challenge. It's the thorn, the giant, the gateway. It is reversed, but it's on the upper line, which means it's an almost impossible challenge, but what's going to help us is to embrace this challenge. So just really, like, this is our challenge, to own it. What isn't going to help is we just keep feeling overwhelmed. We have Sovila, which is the Sun Rune. It's just like this. It just keeps blazing. It's like high heat. It's blazing. It's blinding. It's just like, it's so much. But if we see that as, yeah, it is so much, that's because it's our challenge and it's for us to do. That's what's going to help carry us forward. Now our next step is really going to have to be seriously tending our needs. Now this is Nauthiz. It's the rune of need. It's not reversed. So it's not, I think it should be, but it's not reversed. And reversed Nauthiz means this is an absolute emergency, drop everything and tend it. This just means tend it. This just means this is what you need to take care of, and you need to take care of it. And if you can take care of it, things are going to be a little better. So it basically says, you know what you need to do. Our next step is we know what we need to do, and we just need to do it. We need to not do anything but that for a little while. What's going to help us with that is patience, and I know we've all used up our patience, but that's what it's suggesting. We have Ivaz, which is the rune of the yew tree. It has to do with patience and slow growth and slow development. It is basically saying, just, you know, one step at a time, one day at a time. We will get through this, and that's one of the lessons of Ivaz, which is that while results may not be certain, while results may not be immediate, they are certain. So we are going towards a goal, and every step is important towards it, but it's not going to be right away. But if we embrace that, just like we embrace the challenge that this is, and just like this is part of it, we're just going to take it one bit at a time, be patient, and just this is what we're doing right now. That's going to help us in this need tending phase, which we have to do like right after now. What isn't going to help is we are feeling like we're not moving at all. We have Avaz. Avaz is the horse rune. It has to do with movement, sometimes also with spirit. So I'm also going to read this as we're feeling dispirited. It is dispiriting, but we are, just it feels like we're not moving, and that's dragging us down. Yes, it feels like that. We're in a long stretch, and being patient with it is really the only way to deal with it, as is doing all the things we need to do. Tending our needs. The tending of our needs is the central thing. So from feeling like we were recovering to suddenly we get disarmed again, now we know the drill. Tend the needs and be patient. Embrace the challenge and be patient while we tend the needs that need to be tended. And what this is going to lead to, our next step along the year, I'm going to do the full Futhark, so we'll be covering the year until 2023, but basically we're doing 2022. We have Ingvaz. Ingvaz is Ing's rune. Ing is another name for Frey, and Frey is the fertility god. So it has to do with active creation. As we get through this, we have the opportunity to build, to construct around us, to create maybe things that should have been there all along and weren't, to create sort of a new world around us that is better. So that's sort of where we'll be at once we've done this bit of time where we're just basically tending our needs and being patient about it. Yeah, so exactly. What do we need? What do we want to see beginning? Because the things that we see beginning, we have Verkana, which is the rune of birth and beginnings. What do we want to see birthed into the world? What do we want to see beginning? Because as we create this new reality that we're going to be moving into as we grow, it's the new beginnings that are going to really help us with that. We're going to see things as new, something that we're birthing into the world, something we're bringing through that hasn't been brought through before. And that's really, really going to help us with this creating. What isn't going to help is, we have Fehu. Fehu's the rune of wealth and worth. So, again, I'm going to read this a couple ways. One, we're going to wonder about, but what we're doing, it's nice, but is it worthy? It's nice, but then there's the question of, is it financially feasible? But also just worries about money. All of this, but what about money? That could drag us down. At the same time, I'm definitely reading this, I'm seeing this as rich people aren't going to like this. Not saying this applies to all rich people. There are lovely rich people. But the people who are ridiculously wealthy, but who also they owe their wealth, though they won't admit it, to really cruel practices that needed to end. These people are not going to be happy about the new world that's being built. Good. Anyway, so that's basically, I'm just going to move this up because I don't like the asymmetry. Okay. So move some of these down a little bit. So basically, that's that step there. The focus really is going to be on creating this new world at that point. So, and taking joy in the new beginnings and what is being birthed into the world at that point. Now, this rune is going to be in the way. I mean, everything turns into runes with me. A couple weeks ago, I did a reading where I said, let's pull a rune, and I pulled a card. Everything's rune. Anyway, so once we've started to really create and build things through, bring things through and these new beginnings and creating this new reality, there's going to be a period of stillness. We have Isa, which is the rune of stillness. It's ice. Stillness, standstill, clarity. And that's actually really important because we've been pushing for a long time and we've needed to rest. So it's like we've been at sea and then we landed on the island and we didn't have to fight with the sea anymore, but we had to build things. We had to tend our needs, make sure that we had food, water, shelter. And then we had the opportunity to make this island into something really nice. And now we can finally breathe and relax and rest and take a little bit of time to be still. What is going to help us in that moment is we have Ansu's reversed. Ansu's is the rune of communication and manifestation. Reversed, it has to do with listening, but also listening to your inner voice. So it's a time for introspection and also just listening. And that's what's going to help in this moment of stillness that we can finally take and have some stillness and clarity and just listen to our inner voice on things. What isn't going to help is we've been fighting for so long up to this point. When we get to this point, this is like a piano. When we get to this point, we get to this point and we're going to stop. There's going to be part of us that's going to freak out. We're like, we can't stop. We can never stop. We're never going to be able to stop. So stopping is very upsetting to me. And that could drag you down because you need to spend this time not worrying about the fact that you've stopped for a moment to breathe. But you need to be focused on listening and also focusing on your inner voice. So that's what's going to help you in this moment of stillness. And, take advantage of it because things are going to go crazy like almost right after that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know if I'm going to be doing 12 across, but I'm going to say about mid-year, things are going to go crazy. And I don't know. I have speculation about what that's going to be. I don't want to say it out loud until I get more any sort of proof. But yeah, okay. So it's going to be like chaotic. We have Hagalaz, which is the hailstorm rune, and it's right sort of in the middle of the year. After we've fought and we've laid down our sword, we've tended our needs, we've tried to rebuild, we've had a moment of stillness. So there will be a calm before this storm, at least, but there will be a moment of absolute, complete chaos in the middle of the year. So what's going to help us is stay connected to your heart center. We have Laguz. Laguz is the root of emotion, intuition, and heart. It has to do with, connecting with all that watery stuff. It's a lake. So it has to do with, connect to heart. And I think connecting to heart, just focus on your heart center, your heart chakra, love, intuition, care about the people you care about and just take care of each other and just focus on that. Just be as kind as possible. And that's going to help in this moment because this is not going to be kind, I don't think. And what doesn't help is we have Wunyo reversed. Wunyo is the joy rune. Reversed, of course, in the lower line, it's misery, it's upsetness. And there's also going to be a sense of, I never want to be happy again because happiness can be taken away from me. That's not a good thing, but that's what a lot of people do. And it's going to be like, this moment was this moment of peace. And, we needed that. And when this happens, a lot of people are going to sort of low-key blame themselves for being happy for it. It's like, serves me right for thinking that things were okay, and that's going to drag you down. That's like a total spiral. That is not okay, like a downward spiral, like a bad spiral. There's good spirals. Anyway, if that starts to happen, if any of these things start to happen, your solution is up here. So this is always the opposite of this. This is always the antidote to this. So, but you can ruin this with this, so there it goes both ways. You want to focus on the upper bits because that's how we are healthy and sane. So basically, when you've had this moment of stillness, and if you see this and then you experience this moment of stillness during the year, don't freak out and ruin it by thinking about this that's going to happen. Just be present for the moment of stillness. Listen, connect with your inner voice and all that. And you'll get through it. So basically, you will be at least rested. We will be allowed to be rested for this when this happens. When this happens, we will wake up to it, sort of thing. And we will be rested. Because we will be rested, it will be easier for us to connect at heart level to things. We will be able to try to keep our mind so that we can stay heart focused and really remember what's important to care about, and really take care of the people that need to be taken care of, and love, people that need it, and just generally love, because there's going to be a lot of hate happening that we need to counter. So I've spent a lot on this line because it seems to be the center of the year of next year. It's going to be very upsetting. Basically your next step after this, though, almost right away, there will be an agreement. And so I don't know if this is like a war or a battle or a fight or something, but things just will go crazy, and I don't know what, and we could throw down something about that in a minute. But anyway, let's see. Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving and do the rest of the year. And then I'll see if I can return to that to give a little more clarity. So we have Gebo, which is the rune of the gift. Gift is always an exchange. So it seems like an agreement or a decision or a goal set or interpersonal relationships and agreements. And there will be support. And people are going to be worried about their home, but there will be a great breakthrough. So it looks like, I'm not so worried, but I'm just like, I'm thinking about this, and I'm not sure if this is going to be a part of this, like a continuation of this, or if this is the solution to this and moving forward, because this seems like a flipping point. So let's say this is an agreement. Let's say this is an agreement to return to peace and sanity. If that's the case, so hopefully, and what will help us at that point is they're just feeling supported. We have Algiz, which is the rune of the elk. It has to do with protection and support. Basically, what's going to help us with this agreement is that we do feel supported, and that's going to help us move forward. What doesn't help at that point, we have Othala, concerns about the home. Othala is the home and the homeland. So there will be very active in-your-face concerns about home at that point. Maybe this is weather. Hagalaz is the hailstorm. Maybe this is just like crazy climate change, sudden, insane weather, or something in nature. So it could be anything. It could be war. It could be something crazy in nature, but something is just going to be this just terrifying downbeat in the middle of the year. But afterwards, there will be an agreement. We will feel supported, and that's going to help us. We will be worried about our home, but if you do, that's sort of covered in, like, I'm worried about my home. Well, thankfully, you're supported. So if, however, this is very negative, like if this is, let's say, I don't want to say it, but if it's war, for example, and this proceeds very negatively, which who knows it might, not that I want to say it, this could be an agreement to go to war, and this could be like massive explosions, which we certainly do not want. So however you pray, let's try to do that, and let's focus on caring about each other. So I want to abandon that because it's making me upset. So basically, returning to the positive, which runes tend to be anyway, very practical, down to earth, positive, thankfully. So upsetting thing that happened, agreements, support, and breakthrough. So we have some form of breakthrough that happens really only about a step after the upsetting thing. Agreements and decisions, goals set, support, and then we have a breakthrough. Things become expansive, which is what's going to help. Oops, things are jumping out of my bag. That's our next thing. That's lovely. That's really lovely, actually. And I'm actually going to lay this. Where do I want to put this? I want to put this here. Okay. I wanted to put this here, though. So, and this actually makes a lot of sense here. So I'm going to put this here for now, and then I'll put it back there. And then I'll draw another one to cross-reference. Where were we? Breakthrough. So at this point, after there was an agreement, shortly after the scary thing, sort of just uncontrolled, chaotic thing, there was an agreement we reached. There was like an exchange. Could be a good exchange. Hopefully it is a good exchange. But either way, what helps us is we are supported, and outwardly supported, like from not just our own personal support, or this would be reversed. So we are supported through this. What won't help, we're worried about our home. So if it is a negative exchange, that's obviously, that continues with that. But either way, what is present, did I just poke the camera? I'm sorry. What is present is support. So hold to that, because we do have support, and that is helping us at this point. There is a great breakthrough following that as we come towards the end of the year. So it's sort of like late mid-year, and then agreements and decisions and exchanges. Then big breakthrough happens. What helps is we can open up again. We have Hagalaz, which is the rune of the torch, but it's also a fire, so it's something that starts small and expands. What doesn't help is we're worried about surprises, like any surprises. Like, we don't want any more surprises. We have Pertho, which is the rune of the lot box, has to do with surprises and fate, things that were already there but we didn't realize. So that's obviously, we're shell-shocked from all of this that we went through before. But this breakthrough, honestly, it does seem very, very positive. This is chaos, exchange, breakthrough, harvest. So it's really, really good. So at this breakthrough, what helps us is really expanding, and then we basically have rounded things out. This is the Harvest Rune. It's year up, though. It literally means year. So this is sort of wrapping up the year. It's also wrapping up a chapter of our existence. So it has to do with time as well. So it's almost like this chapter comes to a close at this point. I just as much as I didn't want to say negative, scary things that were happening, I also don't want to say positive, super wonderful, exciting things that are happening. But there is possibly the chance that there would be a breakthrough about the pandemic at this point, and then we can finally open up, and the chapter in our lives of the pandemic would come to a close, and we would reap the benefits of that. But once again, I don't want to say that, because all I have is what's in front of me in terms of reading it. So the general feeling of what's going on in that. And again, the things that are going to support us, embracing our challenge, being patient with tending our needs, letting the new beginnings and things really carry us forward, because that's really exciting. In the moment of stillness that happens after we've been rebuilding, just to turn in, become introspective, listen to your inner voice. When things surge up and are scary and uncontrolled and uncontrollable and chaotic, to hold to, heart center. So love the people you love, take care of people, take care of each other. And as soon, almost right away, there is this agreement, there is this decision, there is this exchange. So I'm hoping this is a positive thing, and I'm thinking it must be, because of the way the rest of the runes have fallen out, where we are supported. And that's the basic thing it's right up there. And whether that means we are actively supported before we think about it, or whether supporting each other is going to be the key. And either way, if we're coming from a heart-centered place, supporting each other is not going to be a problem. We're going to really, really want to do this, no matter what resources we have. And then expanding on that once this breakthrough happens. So this final rune, which is Mana's reversed, which has to do with, Mana's is the rune of humanity and one's note in the song in it. And reversed, it has to do with, you don't need to be swayed by the din of humanity. You can listen to your own drummer and you can follow your own thing. In this place at the end here, it speaks of a greater independence of spirit for everybody. Like, everybody's going to have come through this with greater access to personal inner resources, which is very exciting. We will also be, a lot stronger individually. We won't feel as swayed by the crowd, or by, the din, or by, peer pressure or anything. We won't feel as swayed by that. We will really be able to think for ourselves and stand up for ourselves. Now, I did think I would like to put this here, and if this actually lands here to double on the scary thing, there is going to be a sense of people turning on each other in this moment, which is what's going to make it so much more important for people to be really caring, and again, to make the choice to support each other in the next step. So it might be a lot of just vicious interpersonal and interpersonal, international, or even within country. It might be like a lot of nastiness. So there's that. So, but there at the end, it's sort of like the epilogue to the story, where it's like everybody's going to feel a lot stronger than they were before, and a lot more unswayable by the ebb and flow of things and also the ebb and flow of humanity. So that is our very exciting reading for 2022 on the Black Walnut runes. Happy New Year. Try not to worry about this. Once again, entertainment purposes only. I wouldn't worry too terribly hard about it, although if any of this can help you, please, definitely that's what's gonna carry us through. We're gonna get through it anyway, but this may make it a little bit easier. So that is our reading for 2022. Happy New Year. I hope it is absolutely lovely. I hope you have ultimately and possibly surprisingly the best year of your life coming up. So take care, everyone. See you next time. Bye.